We are live. The Next Level Podcast with Hanzo, and my special guest here today is Shayan Navi. So Shayan, I always like to start out, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your 2022. How did that go for you?
Thanks, Hans, for having me on. 2022, where do I start? It's been a heck of a year for all of us, I'd say.
Yeah.
Joined up with the team about a year and a half ago, just under a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
September of last year. So it's been great.
Fantastic. Great. Awesome. It's been great, folks.
It's been fantastic.
So what we really want to hear is, why don't you tell us some of the stuff that happened during 2022 and some of the events that happened, some of the nice things that happened, some of the odd things that happened, some of the wild things that happened, some of the things that blew your mind, all the kind of stuff that you might want to share with this fantastic audience out there live here right now. I think we're shooting live and in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, 2022, I'm sure we all saw some pretty crazy things in terms of the market.
Yep.
Crazy sold prices, multiple offers. We did quite a few open houses. Mm-hmm. Just I don't really know what else to say.
All right. What do you think? What do you think? Some of the stuff that he might want to share here.
I was going to ask Shayan. You had a phenomenal year. How did you do it?
How did I do it? That's a great question. No real secret recipe. No tricks. No hidden tricks. Honestly, just follow what Hans says, and it seems to kind of work out. Just, follow your schedule, implement the things that Hans has kind of taught us, and just put your head down and keep working, and the rest will just come.
All right. Okay. That's good. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I always say if I could clone myself, 50, 100 times over, I'd take over the entire GTA, but, we can't clone each other's selves yet. And so I look towards you guys to be able to, perfect the system, execute the system that I've been executing now for over 20 years. But reality, what else happened in 2022? What other kind of things happened in 2022? I know COVID came to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inflation went through the roof.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I sold one of the properties that I was holding on to.
Yeah.
For just a little while. I waited a little bit, just got back into the market not too long ago.
Yeah.
Just closed on the next property. We decided to go ahead and purchase in December.
Yep.
And got a phenomenal price on the first one.
Yep.
It was a pretty life-changing experience.
Right.
I hadn't really seen money like that before ever in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of an adjustment. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting to get used to things and again, the groove of, how real estate works, how to make a good investment, when to buy, where to buy. But yeah.
Yeah. So you bought this house when?
The first one in 2020 April, I believe.
2020 April, and you sold it when?
I think 2022 April.
Okay, and you netted how much?
Netted about 500.
Wow, $500,000.
Yeah.
And that's cash.
Yep.
And that was your primary residence.
Essentially, yes. In essence.
Yes, it was your primary residence.
Yeah.
Right. So fantastic. Congrats on that. These are the kind of magic things that I always like to see happen, especially in the real estate world. These are the kind of things that can happen. And I know Shayan was asking me, should I sell? Should I sell? Should I sell? Is this the time to sell? And at that price, there was a no-brainer, obviously, especially with what was happening in the market, what we could see was happening in the market. And he cashed out and got a phenomenal return on his investment. And, with the right advice and the right guidance, he just entered into the real estate world. He was able to make a small little fortune. I would say $500,000 is no small sum to anybody, and now he's moving that into his next home, which he's already bought. You bought another home already. So 2022, you sold a house, you netted $500,000, and then you bought another home. So maybe tell us about that one.
Yeah. So just backing up a little bit, even before I got into real estate, or even before I had my license. So my fiance now and my brother at the time, we had scraped up enough money to buy our first property. And that was at my previous sales job. So before I started selling real estate.
Yeah. And you just said your fiance now. When did that happen?
That happened in August of just last year.
Of?
2022.
Wow, in 2022, he also got engaged. Congrats to that.
Thank you. So yeah, we put about $200K down for the first one. And after we sold and cashed out, after all expenses, we were left with about $600 in cash.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and bought the Aurora home now. It's in St. Andrews, just north of Bathurst and Wellington. We decided, under Hans's guidance, not to put the entire lump sum down and purchase just the one home. So we ended up putting about half of what we were left with from selling the first home down for this one. And that one's already tenanted. It's pretty much paying for itself.
Yeah.
So it's a relief with today's rates.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of
so
fortunate.
how much did you put down?
About 300, just over 300.
300. So you kept half out,
Yeah.
basically, right? And so now you have another, let's say 250, 300.
Yeah, just over 3 left.
Just over 3 left. And what he wants to do now is buy a second property. Now, in real estate investing or any kind of investing whatsoever, the goal is to increase the amount of holdings you have, whether it's in stocks, which I don't recommend, but in real estate, you want to increase as much real estate as you can. Now, so now he sold a house for 1.5. He bought a new house for 115, and I think a month or 2 months after, the neighbor sold, similar house, just had about maybe $150,000 of rentals on it, and it sold for
1.7.
1.7.
Same street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't that just blow your mind there?
Yeah. So Sam actually showed me the sold. I didn't see it at the time, but when he showed it to me, I was like, is this going to happen again?
Yeah.
Right. So the neighbor sold 2 weeks after we closed.
Yeah.
For 1.7, same street. Not a walkout.
Yeah.
So ours is a walkout, and not backing onto the ravine.
Yeah.
Ours is backing onto.
And
the
what year
ravine.
did it also happen in?
Sorry.
That happened in 2022.
Yeah.
Wow, this year is turning out to be something else. I mean, he's got to get a bottle of wine or champagne or something and store that for a long time, because this is a good year, 2022 so far, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now you own a house that's gone from 1.15 to close to, could be 1.6, 1.5, 1.6, and that just sort of happened just after he cashed out on his other house. So again, finding those right homes, finding those properties is definitely something you want to work with the right agent to do. And Shayan is definitely, as you can see, one of those guys who can help you with that.
Yeah, I just a couple of days ago, I ended up getting these first-time home buyers. Super sweet family. Mm-hmm. They were looking for a while, actually, with some different agents.
Yeah.
And what the agent had told them was that for what you're looking for and in the price range is pretty much impossible. Mm-hmm. So when they told me that, I could feel their pain.
Yeah.
And we just ended up getting them a double-door detached home, 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
45 frontage lot for $825.
$825, detached homes, double car garage. How many bedrooms?
4 bedrooms.
4-bedroom home.
Granite counters.
So in good moving condition. And the review they wrote for Shayan was absolutely fantastic. Was amazing. Congrats on that.
Yeah, I was so happy with them, for them. Typically, we're working with people who have sold and they want to purchase, or investors. So it's always a little bit more sentimental with first-time home buyers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I couldn't be more happy for them. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about buying a home,
give this guy a call.
Give me a call.
He's the guy you want to get in touch with. Definitely. I mean, he's gotten rave reviews. He's doing a phenomenal job. He knows how to do his investment properties. He knows how to find those really good deals as well. And so I highly, highly recommend Shayan. He's going to be turning out to be one of our top team members in the coming years, and he's already off to a phenomenal start. So, why don't we share a little bit something? What landed you on the Hans team?
So I've been in sales for quite some time. I put myself through school while doing sales. Mm-hmm. So I was always, doing various sales jobs. I used to work in the department stores,
right?
Selling credit cards for, I think my commission at the time was like $18 a pop.
Right.
I have some funny stories from those days too. I sold cable, internet, cell phones, a lot of door to door.
Yeah.
Which really, prepared me for this industry.
Yes.
And a close friend of mine, Sam, and Naomi, actually, I went to high school with Naomi.
Yeah.
So I've seen their success. I did see, your signs everywhere.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've moved a couple times around before with my parents in Richmond Hill and Newmarket. So almost everywhere we would go, we would see your signs.
Yeah.
So that caught my attention. And, I did follow Sam and Naomi on social. So, I did see their success.
Yeah.
And even at my previous job, I would check in with Sam from time to time to see, how's the market and how he's doing. And, even before I picked up the first course, I think it's Humber now. I already knew I wanted to come join this team.
Yeah.
So I used to drive by actually sometimes, check in on Sam. But yeah, our interview that we had on day one is quite the story.
Quite the story. It was a great story, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left a little bit angry. I left a little bit,
Well, you walked in there. You just got your. You hadn't even got your license yet, right?
I had just finished the final course.
Just finished the final course, and he walks in with an interview, and he sits down, and he puts another brokerage's file on my desk, and he's dressed pretty casual. He's got his sneakers on, and he's sitting there leaning back, and to me, it looked like some young gun walking in with a bit of a bobblehead to him, and and was going everything. It was going good, and then it came down to asking him what he's looking to do here, and he's going, well, tell me what you have to offer and this and that. And he started asking me some questions and that kind of stuff, and then after the interview went, I think I just said, thank you for coming in, but I don't think we're hiring right now.
That's not after the interview. That's one of the first things you said when I sat down.
Well, I guess it didn't go too far into the interview, as I had no intentions of hiring Shayan at that point in time. And, this is where first impressions make a difference, guys. So if you're going to go into an interview that you want the job in, don't show up with jeans, sneakers, and the rest of the stuff, because I called him out and I asked him, why are you showing up to present yourself like this to me? Like, I don't get it, right? And he explained that someone had told him, just go in casual. And I was like, okay, well, not the right move in my opinion. And then I go, and then why are you putting these brochures, Home Life Bayview? I went off a little bit. So right now, obviously, that's not how I was asking, but I was being a little bit more aggressive at the time. And I go, why are you putting? He goes, yeah, because, the school's telling me that we're going to pick our brokerage. And I go, well, yeah, it doesn't work like that here because it's just not happening. So
they had prepped us. When you go in to interview with the different brokerages, just keep in mind that you're interviewing them. They're not interviewing you.
Yeah.
They had given us a bunch of questions to ask, and, it backfired pretty quickly. I was in there with my Steve Maddens, my white Steve Maddens. I think I had my buttons all the way, not all the way, but they were opened up, leaning back, and I'm like, so what can you do for me?
And I was just like, yeah, we're not hiring right now. That's, thanks for coming in. And, I got to say, he pulled a 180 really quickly. He told me a great story right off the bat. He goes, no, I can't wait 6 months. Because I said, come back in 6 months to a year, and then we can talk. And he goes, no, I can't. I don't want to wait 6 months. I've been coming here every week. I've been pulling around, just doing the drive-by every week. This is where I have to be. This is where I want to be, and this is where I see my future. And I think you even told me just recently. You told me how you were at the CN Tower when you booked the interview.
Yeah.
And cheers on champagne, and you go, "This is the beginning."
Yeah, I still have the photos actually.
Yeah. So maybe you can share that with us, and we'll post it out there. And at the same time, while we're doing this video, and he goes, and he goes, "Yeah, no, this is where I have to be." And I look at him, because it's a real 180. His tonality changed, his style changed. He went into a humble mode, and he shared his true. Like, he opened up pretty good, where a lot of people would have just walked out of the door all pretty pissed. And I go to him, "Well, why didn't you start out with that?"
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you start out with that? That would have been a nicer intro, I think, and more welcoming. And he goes, "I don't know, just the way it sort of happened." And then I said, "I think, well, we'll talk. Let me think about it." And at least he saved himself there, and got me to ask some more questions, because I had closed the door on that part of it, and it reopened the door. And I talked to Sam, I talked to Naomi, and got a little bit more feedback, and then I said, "You know what? It was a good turnaround. It was a great turnaround, and let's bring him on board and let's see what he could do." And you know what? I'm very happy that we did, because he's a great kid. I don't mean to call him a kid, but in my eyes, any 20-year-old still a kid, and and he's doing phenomenal, and he's making dreams come true. And that's really what. It's not just about selling real estate on this team, is it?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that too. It's not just sales. It's not just real estate. It's really, really a thought process thing and a mindset thing. And as cliche as it sounds, sometimes even me, other reps on the team, when you catch us kind of in the wrong thought process, you kind of just make us snap out of it right away.
Yeah.
Right. And it's that shift in focus, and it's that shift on your goals and your why that, really is going to push you to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not just real estate. There's a lot of, life lessons that you can learn on this team.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I've learned a lot myself. I had to learn a lot to get to where I am today. And I love sharing it. And I like to see these guys grow. And it's amazing how fast some of these young guns come in, and it's unbelievable how fast they can move, and how fast they can grow, and how fast they can adapt. And very little doubt, very little questions, just, okay, let's do it. A lot of trust, and the results are phenomenal. From flipping a house for $500,000, buying a house and instantly seeing that value go up for another $500,000, from getting engaged, in an exotic island, to the love of his life, and being part of that. It's still, that's, I'm there. I hear about it. We talk about it a little bit, right? In our Zen room over here, right? And then buying his first car, his Beamer. He went out and bought himself a Beamer, right? Convertible.
Not necessarily my first car, but I want to say the first car with the step in the right direction, at least for our business.
Yeah.
Unfortunately or fortunately, however which way you want to look at it, we are in a business where what you wear, what you drive, it definitely makes a difference.
Presentation's everything, and showing up in flip flops or in shorts or a pair of sneakers to my interview is presentation, and that's what everyone's looking at when you walk into someone's house. So these are kind of thought processes we start to fix and correct, and quickly and quickly get people to understand, and that you're presenting not just yourself, you're presenting the team, you're presenting to the potential client that wants to work with you, and it makes a massive difference on your ability to convert. And that's what we come down to, is that conversion number. And then everything else follows into suit. Everything when it comes to life goals and achieving life goals. I'm sure having, getting and being able to purchase a BMW, or feeling confident enough to even do that, is a life goal for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, and it's like a compound effect. One thing, in the right direction with the right thought process, it kind of just automatically leads to more success, more appointments, taking maybe more listings.
Definitely going to get more listings. And then I think you went out and you got yourself a nice fancy watch.
Yeah, I about the same time I got engaged, kind of a gift to myself after making that $500,000. I had to buy something.
Yeah.
Right. You talk about rewarding yourself.
Yeah.
pick something you really like.
Yeah.
So I did spend, a good chunk of change on a new watch.
Yeah.
I worked my way up though. I had $1,000 or $2,000 watch first.
Yeah. You did a few deals as well, right?
Yeah.
You've done how many deals did you do in 2022?
Well, quite a few.
Quite a few. Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, it's like a compound effect, right? One thing leads to another thing, right?
So it's not a bad first full year 2022 on the Hans team then, I guess.
Nope, can't complain.
Yeah. And like I said before, it's not just about real estate. We don't just teach real estate here. Real estate is just a vehicle that you're going to use to obtain your goals. And that's what you need to understand, that real estate is the fastest moving vehicle for most people that can get into, an easily sales job or a career that allows them to make a certain kind of figure without having to go to university for 8 years. But there is a learning curve. You're not just going to walk in and do it. You have to have some sales background. And if you don't, you have to learn that sales background. And even Shayan, with all the experience he had, I mean, he was struggling in the beginning. And maybe we can share a little bit about learning scripts and how the scripts work here and how good they are.
For sure. So I wanted to touch on one thing you said, in terms of speed, the speed of these new young guns that come in onto the team. So I do have some family friends that have been in the business for quite some time.
Yeah.
I know people who've been in the business for a long time.
Yeah.
And, the average agent's doing what, maybe 2-3 deals a year.
Yeah.
Kind of just getting by.
Yeah.
And what I've seen on this team in terms of just new hires or new reps, where or in what realm do we see, agents coming onto the team with some sales experience, some little to none, and, getting done multiple, like double-digit transactions in 1 year, 10 plus transactions,
making
15
over
plus
6 figures.
I think,
6 figures.
Yeah, making over 6 figures, it's
coming from Rogers or Tim Hortons, or
a customer service
job, or a bank teller, and all of a sudden, they're making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and now we've even broken $500,000 on a net level. This is not gross; this is net. And for a lot of people, it's shocking. It really is.
And it's not to say that, real estate's easy and, you're going to come in and it's just going to be all, sunshines and rainbows. It obviously depends on where you join up, who's teaching you, how you're learning, whether you're coachable, whether you're going to practice your scripts. And, I think the systems that we have in place to, take on the listings, have the support, make sure the house is sold for a phenomenal price, make sure the client's happy. It's all systems that you've built, over the past decade.
Having access to listing managers.
Right? Yeah.
Having access to a $1.2 million marketing system. Having access to me to negotiate the deal, having
100%.
Any kind of issues that that are head scratchers. Cheyenne's walk in and say, "What am I going to do with this?" And I go, "Da da da da, boom, 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 boom," and all of a sudden the deal's getting done. And how did it just happen? And we just had that experience yesterday with Bahar, and we just had that experience the other day with Naomi. Running into a brick wall, and all of a sudden, I say this, do this, say this, do this, and all of a sudden the deal's getting done, and the agent's ecstatic, the client's ecstatic, and everybody's happy, and that's really what negotiations and working in this business is, to make everybody happy, and that's what we do, and that's what I've learned to do really well, and I love teaching that, and then seeing just the expression on some of the team members when they're just like, well, how did that just happen? That's my bit of joy, I guess you can say. It really warms me, and I enjoy it. I love it. It makes me smile inside. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what would have happened if, I just walked out of the interview and said, okay, well, this guy wants 6 months experience. Let me go get my 6 months experience on my own. I don't know how I was going to take a listing, what I was going to say, when to say it, how to say it.
Yeah.
All these small little tips and tricks,
And then how many listing appointments would you have gone to and not converted?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna go into competition. Even if you have families who are thinking of selling, or friends, and you think, hey, I'm just gonna get their listing. No, you're gonna go up against other people.
Yep.
And in today's world, the teams are becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. And soon it's all going to amalgamate to, a smaller group of bigger teams. And that's the route that it's been going for in the last decade. And the amalgamation is not going to slow down. It's going to continue. And you need to be on a team that can convert. Because if you go to 10 or 20 listing appointments and you list, 2, 3, or maybe even worse, 1 or 0, you're out of the business. Why would you keep doing that? You're not. You wouldn't even be able to control your emotional disappointment that would kick in. Never mind the feeling of just frustration, and 99% of the people just quit at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, we do so much volume. We're a listing team for sure.
Yep.
And we do a ton of volume, and
292 transactions in 2022. All right. Thank you to the team.
And when you're just starting out and you're not on a team, or you're trying to figure things out on your own, like you just said, if you take a listing on and it doesn't sell, or you're unsuccessful, it's a huge hit.
Yeah, and if you're just getting started, listen, hiring the photographer, paying for the staging, doing all the marketing, the social media marketing, and then your house doesn't sell, you're looking at a 5 to 10 G hit. So most likely you might do it once. If you lose out on that one, you're not going to do it again. You're going to go into a frozen mode, and it's almost going to knock you out of the business. This is where everyone just puts that on my shoulders and say, Hans, well, you know what? You have the system in place, which we do. And let's all team up together. Let's all provide the absolute best marketing system in the business, the absolute best results in the business, the best stats in the best business, the most record prices in the business. And let's all work together, and let's all have a lot of success together, and let's all make our dreams come true. And that's really what it's about.
Let's all get rich together.
Yeah, but getting rich is everyone's different different belief of what rich is. For some people, it's going on a luxury vacation. For some people, it's driving a fancy car. For some people, it's having minimal to no debt and being free of debt. Everyone's rich is different for everybody. And I want everyone to achieve their rich, their dreams, their goals. I'm working on mine. You work on yours. Let's all do it together, and let's use this system, this vehicle of real estate, and the most. I would say we have created the most 6-figure agents in the industry today on this team, and we're looking to create more. And we're not just looking to create people who just want to make an income. We're looking for listing managers right now who want to surround themselves with eagles and get into that position where I will teach you on how to become a listing manager. And Shayan's 100% in line from that right now, and he's going to become our next listing manager in a very short period of time. And I'm really looking forward to it because I think he fills those shoes really well.
And just for people who are listening who kind of may not know what a listing manager is, essentially, your job when you're just starting out is, talking to as many people as possible, reaching out to your friends, family, your inner sphere, prospecting, a lot of door knocking, a lot of cold calling, and, really just booking an appointment.
Yeah.
And it sounds simple, but that's all you have to do. Just book an appointment. If you're new, book them in for a time, and have one of the several listing managers that we have come in with you and help you get the listing.
So I was just talking to one of our brand new team members, and I said, listen, you don't have to figure out how this whole industry works. It took 1.5 years for me to actually do my first deal because I had to get my head around how this whole industry worked, and almost knocked me out of the business. I said, all you need to do is talk to everybody you know, anybody you run into, and ask them if they've given any thought to possibly making a move. And then you ask, if so, well, why are you thinking about moving? When are you thinking about moving? And where are you thinking about moving to? And what are you looking for? Those 4 W's, and we put that into a fantastic script. We teach you how tonality, we teach you body language, we teach you how to execute the scripts. And if you're doing this, and we do this every Friday, we have a 2 to 3 hour training on scripts. Every Friday, everyone gets together on the team and we work on these scripts to keep everyone fresh. That's all you have to do. Once you book the appointment, we take care of the rest. You don't have to do anything else. It's that simple. So if you have more questions, Shayan's always available. Follow this guy. And this guy is just, is just going to, do some phenomenal things that you want to stay in touch with. You want to watch, because he's going to start sharing more and more of the things that he's doing to get where he's going. And yeah, what I would say at this point, I'm follow Shayan. Just click on that button, follow us, because we're going to have a lot more interviews like this. And yeah, you're going to see your world change, because that's what we like to do. We like to change people's worlds.
Absolutely. And yeah, just on that note, like, you know, even prospecting, even, you know, making your calls, you know, knocking on doors, you know, I've come across some agents, or they said, you know, does it really work? You know, are you really getting business from making these calls? You know, and it's not necessarily about the result of, you know, you make X amount of calls. Did you book anything? Did you convert anything? Sometimes, you know, it's really just about practice, you know, and making sure your scripts are airtight. So when you're talking to somebody, it doesn't sound rehearsed. Right. And sometimes, you know, I have a pretty tight schedule, pretty consistent schedule when it comes to my calls. You know, I do my morning calls every day. And, you know, if I don't book an appointment, or if I don't convert anyone over the phone, I still feel nice, because I'm talking to people about real estate, and that's our job. And if you're an agent and you're not talking to people about real estate daily, you're not doing your job, right? And
sorry, I'm just going to step in. So these are the kind of thought processes that get installed in your head when you join the Hans team. These are the kind of thought processes that automatically feel natural once you start execute them. But the first thing you got to get your head around is the way you're thinking about it, and why you're doing it, and what you're doing. And as you can hear from Shayan, this just seems like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and he's doing it, and it's fantastic. So
yeah, so, you know, agents will make 100 calls and huff and puff and say, you know, I didn't book anything. Well, you know, they don't know you from a can of paint. You know, you've never spoken to this person before. And, you know, they don't want you to come to their house. And what are you upset about?
That they said no. And we change that thought process of how you're supposed to think when you're cold calling, and the answers that you're supposed to be getting. A lot of you guys are out there thinking that, you know, you're getting disappointed when someone says no. You're expecting someone to say yes. And, you know, we change those expectations and those thought processes in our team members' heads, so they have more success and they enjoy doing what they're doing, even though it seems to most to be a difficult task, but it really isn't, is it? There's nothing difficult with dialing a phone. Every day you're dialing that phone. Every day you're on the phone doing something with the phone. So it's not like you're scared of the phone itself. So my question then comes down to, what about the brand? So when you're out there door knocking, when you're out there cold calling, you're mentioning the Hans team brand, you're mentioning the blue and yellow signs that are, I like to say, as our branded as Tim Hortons in the North, because we are the most branded team in the North. What are your thoughts when it comes to the brand? Is there any positive effects you get out of it?
So part of the reason why I feel like the transition into this industry was, you know, kind of easier for me was I used to do quite a lot of door knocking for Bell Canada. And, you know, we're wearing the uniform, we're dripped head to toe in the Bell colors. We've got the Bell hats, you know, we've got our name tag. So people say, you know, well, you door knock, or how is it? Do people slam the door in your face? Do they tell you get off their property? No, it's, you know, quite the opposite. It's the same thing on this team. You know, they know us. They've been in the area, living there for, you know, 10, 15 years. They've seen our signs year over year. They know exactly who we are. So, you know, as soon as they see our business card, or as soon as they see our name tag, you know, with the branded colors, that's halfway through the door already, just off the bat. Right.
It's not like, who are you, or they're opening the door. Once they see the brand, they feel more comfortable because it's more recognizable.
And they say, oh, Hans team, you know, you just sold my neighbor's house, you know, last month, or you know, my family member sold with you guys, or you know, I've seen your signs everywhere. I know what you guys are about. So they're way more willing to, you know, listen to what you have to say.
I just went to a listing appointment today, and the guy's telling me, oh, I've been living here now for, you know, 8 years, and I've seen your sign everywhere. I see you on the bus shelters, you're on my fridge, you're in my mail every 2 weeks. It's really it was really, it's always good to hear those reinforcements, because that's what we're doing. It's a mass branding system that we've been spending millions of dollars in over the years. Well over $10 million in brand has gone out into building this brand and connecting with team members who are using this brand just like you would open a franchise to grow their business. And now we've designed this next step that allows other team members to quickly move into a management position, a listing manager position, to help them continue down that path of growth. So I'm really excited about that. That's why I'm bringing it up a couple more times, because I think if you're thinking you're just becoming a team member here, it's not. There are management growths. There's even a partner stage that you can get into at some point that Sam and Mel are approaching. And definitely the listing manager is the next step up if you're looking for that opportunity to continue to grow your business within this team and this franchise.
Well said, my friend.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you. Well, Shayan, this was a fantastic interview. It's such a pleasure to have you on the team.
Thanks for having me.
You're such a phenomenal young gun, and I'm really looking forward to working with you over the coming years and seeing your continued growth on this team and in your life. And thank you for being on the Next Level podcast. I really appreciate it. And you're definitely one of the young guns moving to that next level.
Thanks for having me on. To many more deals, many more years of success.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. You can follow my social, Shayan_Navi.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions about the team, you want to book an interview, just shoot me a DM, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Got it.